Welcome to Ultimate Recap Channel. You know, for millions of us, the magic of Harry Potter is just timeless. But believe it or not, it's been over a decade since the last film. And now, the wizarding world is getting a complete and total reset. We're going to break down absolutely everything we know about this massive HBO reboot. And when I say massive, I mean it. HBO is planning a decade-long series. We're talking an entirely new cast, a bold new vision for the story. So let's really get into what this full reimagining is all about. And get this, you won't have to wait nearly as long as you might think. The first season, which is going to cover the Philosopher's Stone, is actually set to premiere for the holidays in 2026. Yeah, that's even earlier than a lot of the initial reports were suggesting. Okay, so first things first. This isn't just some simple remake. The whole project is being framed as a deeply faithful adaptation. The goal? To bring the books to life in a way the original films, as amazing as they were, just didn't have the time for. And here's the core promise of the whole series. And honestly, this is the big one. They're dedicating an entire season to each of the 7 books. I mean, think about that. That structure gives the story a huge amount of room to breathe, letting them explore the source material like we've never seen on screen before. And that is exactly what the creative team is aiming for. The showrunner, Francesca Gardner, has been super clear about this. She said, "We have 8 hours to tell the first book so we can dig into the real depths and crevices." 8 hours. That means they can finally get into all those little details and corners of the wizarding world that book fans have been dying to see. So yeah, the number one goal here is faithfulness to the books. The team is totally dedicated to including all those beloved details, characters, and scenes that, for whatever reason, had to be left on the cutting room floor in the original films. And this is such a perfect example of their commitment to those little details. We're talking about things as small but as iconic as Harry's Christmas jumper from Mrs. Weasley, right? In the films, it was blue. But any book reader will tell you it was emerald green. Well, guess what? The new series is making it emerald green. Oh, and this one is a huge win for book fans. We're finally getting characters that were completely cut from the movies. I'm talking, of course, about Peeves the Poltergeist. The producers have officially confirmed he'll be in the show, even saying, "We'll get to have some fun with Peeves." Finally! And it's not just about single characters either. We're getting entire scenes and storylines straight from the books. We're going to see Hermione actually getting her Hogwarts letter, a young Draco at Malfoy Manor before school even starts. And yes, Professor Binns, the ghost, will be teaching history of magic. They've even confirmed that famous snowball fight where they're hitting Professor Quirrell right on his turban. It's all in there. What's also really interesting is that the storytelling is going to break free from being tied only to Harry's point of view. This is going to expand the world in a huge way. We'll get to see Dumbledore's interactions with Nicholas Flamel. We'll finally get a look inside the Gryffindor girls' dormitory, and they've even confirmed we'll see that Gryffindor versus Hufflepuff Quidditch match that was in the book but never made it into the movie. So, who are the people bringing this incredible new vision to life? Well, HBO has assembled a completely new cast, mixing some really acclaimed actors with fresh faces from all over the globe to introduce the story to a whole new generation. Okay, let's take a look at the new lineup. Taking on the iconic trio, we've got Dominic McClellan as Harry, Arabella Stanton as Hermione, and Alastair Stout as Ron. And they're joined by some absolutely incredible talent, like John Lithgow as Dumbledore, Janet McTeer as McGonagall, Papa Essiedu as Snape, and the fantastic Nick Frost as our beloved Hagrid. All right, so the story and the cast are starting to become pretty clear. But there's a major debate brewing online about the show's visual style. The big question is, how will this new wizarding world actually look and feel? So, what's the new Hogwarts going to look like? Will it be bright and magical or dark and gritty? Well, the answer seems to be kind of complicated. We're actually getting some mixed signals from the production team and what we've seen so far. So on one hand, the show's own cinematographer Adriano Goldman has flat out promised a more vibrant visual style. He said, and I quote, "This series needs to be more vibrant," which sounds like a pretty clear departure from the darker, more desaturated look of the later films. It sounds like a return to that whimsical tone of the early books, right? But then, on the other hand, that first trailer gave a lot of people the exact opposite impression. Media outlets and fans all over the internet pointed out that the footage seems to suggest a much darker, more grounded interpretation with a really muted color palette. You know, something that feels more in line with the later, more mature books. And this whole blend of familiar but new even extends to Hogwarts Castle itself. Some eagle-eyed fans have noticed that the new set designs seem to be borrowing some architectural cues from the super popular Hogwarts Legacy video game, so they're creating a visual link to a more recent part of the franchise, which is pretty smart. So you take all of these changes, the new cast, the conflicting visual styles, and what do you get? Well, you get a massive and, let's be honest, very passionate debate among the fans. It's so big, even the director of the first two original films, Chris Columbus, has weighed in. After seeing production photos of the new actors in costumes that looked almost identical to his own original designs, he admitted he was a bit skeptical, asking, what's the point? And his comment really sums up the whole online debate perfectly. On one side, you have fans who are just thrilled for more story depth and a truly faithful adaptation that finally includes characters like Peeves. But on the other side, there's a real feeling that maybe it's an unnecessary remake, some criticism of that dark Netflix lighting look, and of course, some controversy over replacing such an iconic and beloved cast. So ultimately, the series is facing this monumental task of trying to live up to the magic that literally defined a generation. So the question is, can a new cast, a new tone, and a different visual style really recapture that lightning in a bottle? And that brings us to the final, most critical question of all. With its promise of being so book accurate and having so much depth, will this new series become the definitive screen adaptation of the Wizarding world? I guess only time will tell. Like, share, and subscribe to Ultimate Recap channel for more movie explanations.